night, everybody. I forgot to say, I send you a new link because I have to start it over. Sending you a new link. I'm sending you a different link, so you click on this one. I'm going to send you now.
Okay.
Hold on, coming to you, everybody. Coming. Hi, Josh. Oh, okay. What is this now? Click on the bottom one. Click on the bottom one. Run. All right, so we wait for see the guests come in. Hi, good night, everybody. Thank you for the patient on the time. You know, so every day I try to get the thing. Boy, them something at sometime can. Good night, Michael. How you doing? Boy, me make sure so me put on. Hey, on have to help me, you know. You know, my top up me affair buy and the top up data. Data can't really run them live, you know, because them live by you start then don't know. So I have to put on certain amount where I know so I can go. So the need for help, put up a little super chat, put a little $1, you know, help out so that we can. I, Amanda, we cannot allow at this time for you know have we live them ago because the politics I get very hot, you know. Me say, let me say if him read it, something I'm telling. All right. Let me wait for him to come in now. All right, see him coming in. Hi, Ron. Good night. How you doing?
Hi, Auntie, I'm good, and you?
I am in between.
Yes.
All right, guys. I said, man, I feel like fish out of water last night. Without me never remember. So me never put this. I'm always trying to come back, people. The thing would have never connect back. Never mind. I said, well, tonight,
That's where it goes sometimes.
boy, may I tell you, man, we just at a spot now where we can me just can't put on connect the thing yet. So me have to try work out something. I never know how long me ever try work it out. But thank you, Michael. But I'm so grateful tonight to be here and welcome to everyone. Yeah, thank you, Kimon, Michael, Amanda, all of you, Josh. Wow. Welcome to the channel tonight. We want to have a meaningful discussion and thanks to Rowan again that take time out of his busy schedule to join it. And I know this is all about the love of our party why we are doing this. Because listen me, I hear some people, oh PMP I pay you. If you know how much it costs me to put top data on my phone to come to live. I mean sure you know say it's not no money me get from no Mark Gold in our data and chamber. Yeah? So no no bother say that but it's the love for party. And not only love for party is that we want to see a change of government. And whatever it takes, we have to broke at the end of the day while we get the result we want, we are good. Hi, Norman. How you doing? All right. So before you go into what you know you want to talk about, I just want you to briefly say, if you got the chance, was to look at what the former PNP president and Prime Minister of Jamaica spoke about, setting the record straight. I I want to hear what you have to say in regards to it. I see some of the labor right I run out like Tom Tavares Finson. I can say PJ should have apologized for Finstock instead of contact about SSL and them little stuff there. What is your view on it? What is your view on it?
Um, PJ utterances were laced with truth, and it was just refreshing to
Mm,
listen.
yeah,
He always have this cool way of bringing over his arguments or ideas, and I was really, schooled by
yeah,
or refreshed. My memory was refreshed because
mine too. Yeah,
most of the things that he spoke about, I knew about them, but probably I just had forgotten about them. So he had refreshed my memory on most of those things, and I was really taken aback by the many things he had to say. It was laced with truth and
yeah,
fact, which
yeah,
Jamaica, especially the younger generation, do need to know.
yeah. The younger generation need to know it because one of the point that I love what he point out and says the JP government was in power from 1980 until 89 and never think to bring in telecommunication in the country. It is after when Michael gave a PJ Patterson and Philip Palwell
Paul,
were the one that made the same media now we have access to come go on like say. And I like when he lay that part straight to make people know who do the thing. I like how he also talk about, I remember the other day we were talking about, he said the last hospital bill in Jamaica is over 50 years. And that was
mhm.
under the PNP government when they built the Maypen Hospital. And I was trying to think, it was under the JLP and nearly would have give away that. Because I was saying the other day, what is the legacy of Mike Henry for so long in Central Clarendon? What is his legacy? Is there any legacy you can tell me that Mike Henry will be leaving? Because I see Delroy Williams saying he want to walk into the legacy of Mike Henry.
I think the legacy that Mike Henry has in that constituency is, I think, he's the only individual who has won the seat so many times. As far as other legacy, I can't identify.
There's no legacy. The last time, couple of years, I went to the Maypen Cemetery for at a funeral. Let me tell you, man, it's a disgrace. It's a disgrace. If you ever see which part them are scratch out, almost in the walkway, and the place is pure turns. Nobody keep up nothing. And the place so looks so dilapidated. I remember as a young girl growing up in Clarendon. And I used to go to Denby school. Let me tell you, man, it was a pride to look at Denby Showground. It was a pride to be into Maypen Town. And when you look at it now, it just looks so depressing. What is the legacy? Dog
Well,
Father, good evening, Faye, Estina,
the
Chelsea.
younger,
All
the
right, I don't
younger,
want to keep. I'm not going to keep you because I know you're going to have a long task tonight. Forget you for the
the
listener.
younger generation, though, in that constituency, would have grown up and have seen little or no change. And they are the ones who are going to be tipping the scale. I'm not sure if it's going to be enough to make up the deficit, but
Yes.
I predict that all margins will be narrowed in favor of the People's National Party. So
I
what
don't, I don't, I don't want to jump to your teaching, but since we are, for some reason, we start in Central Clarendon, and I know you have your notes right there. I don't know if I'm remembering correctly, but I think when Jalika just ran against him in 2020, the margin wasn't all that big.
closed the margin? She closed the margin. It's a seat that over the years the margin has been dwindling, and that speaks a lot. Even with the breakdown that I'm going to be going into, it
Yeah.
is going to be showing you a trend where once margins are narrowed, it spells danger for the incumbent.
All right, you can go ahead and get into it. Go, you can talk to the audience now.
Okay, I'm not sure. I said good night. Good night, my fellow um, chatters, and good night, Auntie. Thanks again for having me on your show. I'm humble for the invitation,
You're
and
always welcome. You're always welcome on this platform.
I try my best to ensure that your listeners and participants do benefit in more ways than one.
Yes.
All right. So,
Yeah.
as the topic says, the history of Jamaica's general election results from 1944 to 2020, and the reason why I start at 1944, if you all remember that 1944 is the year of universal adult suffrage,
Yeah.
and that means persons who were not allowed to vote before because they were not rich or they did not have valuables such as cattle, they were
Yes.
allowed to vote. But in 1944, Jamaica gained universal adult suffrage, and a lot more persons were allowed to vote. So in 1944, on the voters list,
Thanks, Simone.
there were 633,069 registered voters.
All right. So we want to take that time. It's 600 and no, 1 minute. Don't gonna pray because I should come here without my book. One more.
Sure. How are you? It's good night. Simone Felix. Hi.
All right.
Hi.
Sorry. All right. So let me get that because I really need to take that notes down. In 1940, nineteen
44.
forty-four,
Yeah. The total amount of registered voters on the voters list was
600,
633,060
633,000.
and 69.
All
Of,
right.
of that amount, 389,109 voted.
So in 1944, the year that Jamaica gained universal adult suffrage. Oh, you're right, Dignity. All right, thank you for doing that, bro.
Yes.
All right, so that's great. So it's 633,069.
Yeah. Um, and 389,109 voted. I don't have all the percentage for all of them, but this one is a 61% voter turnout.
All right, could you tell the audience who were the two persons contesting the election that year?
Sure. So it was Norman
It was
versus so it was Norman Manley versus Sir Alexander Bustamante.
Bustamante. I forget about Norman Manley. I was doing thing. And Bustamante. How should I ever know say them two there because them two there, yeah.
Yeah. No, at that time, Auntie, there were 32 seats.
Yes, 32 seats.
Yeah.
So
All right. Of the 389,109 persons who voted, 39,000 of those were 39,989. So roughly 40,000 were rejected ballots, spoiled ballots.
oh my.
It's important to note that.
So are you saying that all the 633,000 voted, but half of the ballot were spoiled?
Well, the 633,000 were on the voters list. Of that amount, 389 turned up to vote. So
Okay.
of the 389,000 that turned up to vote, 39,000 of that, or 40,000, because it was 39,982, were rejected ballots.
So what happened to the election?
Huh? So the
What,
results of the election,
what was the outcome?
okay, three parties, so to speak, collected some seats. The independent had 5 seats. Can you imagine?
Independent.
Independent. There were 5 independent candidates that were successful.
Wow.
The People's National Party got 5 seats.
And the JP got the rest.
And the Jamaica Labour Party got 22 seats. And
Okay.
made up the 32 seats. The vote allocation, the independent party with their 5 seats amassed 104,814
Wow.
votes. The,
Thanks for
P-
the speaker instrument.
the PNP had only 82,029 votes. So even the independent got more votes than the PNP in 1944.
Wow.
And the Jamaica Labour Party got a whopping 144,661 votes.
Yes. 'Cause in those time it was Buster man carry the swing man.
Yeah. The independent party and the third party were not bad. At that time, there was a party called the Jamaica Democratic Party. I'm not sure who was the leader for that party.
I heard the name already, yes.
Got 14,000 votes in 1944.
Wow.
So the JP walked away with that one by a landslide.
So the JP won. What was that the first election?
That was that was the first election after universal adult suffrage. There
Right.
were elections before that, but that was the first election after universal adult suffrage,
And the JP won that.
and the JP won that.
Okay.
The next election, so we could just also pay attention to the dates. The first was 1944.
Yes.
The second is 1955. Sorry,
Oh, hold on. So hold on. So
19,
that was almost 10 years?
sorry, my mistake. 1949,
Oh,
which is
49. Yeah.
5 years. No, remember, um, in 44, there were a total of 633,000 persons on the voters list. But for this, I know in 1949. In 1944, there were 633,000 persons on the voters list.
Yeah.
But in 1949, there is 732,217 persons. So there was an increase
There was
in.
an increase. Yes. 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 There was an increase
And interestingly, Auntie, we have been having an increase in the number of persons on the voters list every election.
every election.
Every election, the amount of persons on the voters list increased. It has never decreased. Well, there were instances, yes, in the early years it has increased, and we're going to look at that when we reach there. So of the 732,000 that were on the voters list in 1949, 477,107 voted.
Oh.
That's a 65% voter turnout. still have 32 seats,
Oh, the seat never increase.
never increased as yet. Independent went down to 2 seats. Remember, they had 5 seats in
Yeah, that's
19.
fancy. Yes, yes.
They now have 2 seats.
Oh,
The People's National Party had 5 seats. They gained 8 on their 5, so they are now at 13 seats in 1949. They won 13 seats, and the Jamaica
oh,
Labour Party won 17. So you see, a momentum is building up for the People's National Party. And what will be highlighted, Jamaica has a history of a 2 term for each party. So after 2 term, you see in the 3rd term they lose.
yeah,
Only
very. Only person break that ceiling was PJ Patterson.
thank you
Yeah,
very much.
no other prime minister. That me know for fact.
Yes. So in as much as the first 2 elections, the Jamaica Labour Party has taken it, we are going to be seeing what is happening thereafter.
Yeah,
But let us look at the numbers.
yeah,
In 1944, the People's National Party polled 82,000 votes.
yeah.
But in 1949, they increased that to 203,000 votes. What is interesting,
Very interesting. Yes,
the Jamaica Labour Party, who had 22 seats in 1944 and had 144,000 votes, in 1949 they had 199,538. That is less than what the PNP had. So the PNP lost 1949 election but had the popular vote.
oh, because they would have gotten more votes but less members. Due to some constituency would get more votes.
Right. Some constituency was flushed with PNP supporters
Yeah,
and so caused them to had more national votes. So they had 203,000 while the
yes,
Jamaica
yes.
had 199. However, the JLP were able to take 17 seats to the PNP 13 and the
Yeah,
independent 2,000, 2 seats with 58,000 votes.
very interesting history of our politics, man.
Yeah.
Good night, Lassam. Good night, Sandra Watkis.
And that was still Norman versus Buster.
Yes, still Norman versus Buster.
Yeah. In 1955, that was the next election. Same 32 seats. It is at this time that the independent party and the third party started to fade away.
The fade away. Okay.
So
Good
there
night,
were no seats. There were no seats allotted to the independent party.
So in 55, the independents get no seats.
No seats.
Okay.
Remember in 1949, the People's National Party had amassed more votes than the Jamaica Labour Party, even though they lost.
Yes,
So that is saying that there is a momentum building for the People's National Party.
that's right.
And this was played out in the election of 1955.
Yes,
761,000 persons were on the list, up from 732,000.
yes.
495,000 voted, up from 477,000. There was a whopping 9,000 rejected ballots. Nine
Wow.
rejected ballots. And I never mentioned in 1949 that the rejected ballots was 9,902.
It seems like them people they never know from Mark ballot man.
Apparently, that was the situation.
Yeah, because them people they back then they start to unlearn too, you know.
Yeah, yeah. But what trend we are seeing is that there is an increase in the amount of persons who go on the voters list, and there's an increase in the amount of persons who voted. Because in 1944, 389,000 voted. In 1949, 477,000 voted. And in 1955, 495,000 persons voted. So there is an increase in the amount of persons who vote each election. There is
Yeah.
also an increase in the amount of persons added to the list. The percentage later down, you are going to see it starts to decrease, and it simply means because more persons are added to the list than new voters, but there
Yes.
is always an increase in the amount of persons who go
So,
out to
so in
vote.
the 1955 election, who won it?
That was one People's National Party. They got 18 seats.
Oh, they got 18 seats.
To the Jamaica Labour Party, 14 seats. So the 32 seats were shared among
Yeah,
the two major.
yeah, because no independent won any.
No independent party won any. And that was also between Norman and Buster.
Okay.
There were at that time there were a lot of independent had 24,000 votes, but that wasn't enough to give them a seat. There was a party called the Farmers Party. They had 19,000 votes. There's another party called the NLP. They got 6,000 votes. And
Mm.
there was one called the People's Freedom Movement. They got
So,
1,700
so,
votes.
so our history will show us that no third party ever win an election in Jamaica.
No, but independent had one um, parliamentary seats and were placed and represented a constituency in the House of Representatives.
Yes.
Greetings to you, Pat W. Bless you. So let's now move on to and that voter turnout was 65% in 1955.
Whoa, that was great. The
Very good.
improvement, yeah.
Yeah. I don't have the percentage for the rest of them, but I can estimate it. I can know when it is over 50 or when it is
Yeah.
under 50. So I'll
Yeah.
just give. All right. Now we move on to 1959. So 4 years after. So Norman Manley would have called an election 4 years after 1955 in 1959. 853,000 persons on that voters list. So again, that's an increase
Yeah, that's
from
an increase. Yeah, it's an increase. Yeah.
the first time over 500,000 persons would have voted. 564,000 persons casted their votes. And the spoiler rejects went down to 6,200. So it seems like people getting training as to how
You
to
get
vote.
in trained, yeah. Good night, Jessica, sir.
I should have mentioned earlier that it is in 1959 that the seats removed from 32 to 45.
Oh, so hold on. There's something else we need to talk about. Within that time from 1944, how many parishes did we have?
Not quite sure, but I know there has been parish changes.
Yeah,
And
because that's something to look at another time.
yeah, we could look at that in one show.
Yes,
All right, so that was in 1959, 45 seats were now being used to determine the winner. And
yeah.
the person gets
That,
20,
that will also tell us that they had more constituencies.
definitely.
Yeah.
And 20, the person who gets 23 seats would form the government.
Yes.
Uh, it was still Norman and Buster. Okay?
Yeah.
The Jamaica Labour Party got 247,000 votes.
Good.
In 1955,
they got 245,000. So they just gained that 2,000 on the 245. The People's National Party, in 1955, they had 245 votes, but in 1959, they increased that to 305,000.
Yeah.
The seat distribution, as I said, no independent party again came in. So the Jamaica Labour Party had 16 seats to the People's National Party 29.
Oh, so the PMP start step away now.
Yes. Now this represents the second term for the People's National Party.
Yes.
But remember, there is a trend that after two terms,
You know, we know.
the incumbent is always in problem. So in 1962, the year of independence, we had an election that year.
Yes.
We had an election before independence. 796,000 persons are on the list. This is the first time we see a reduction in the
Yes,
number of
Nadi.
persons.
Letia, good night. George, good night.
Yes,
One
Nordy.
more, one more. George, did I greet George? Good night, George. Greeting to all of you that just joined in late. All right, continue, Ron.
Yeah. So this is the first time we see that the amount of persons registered to vote has reduced. Because in 1959 it was 853,000 persons on the voters list. But in 1962 it is 796,540.
What would have caused is that?
Very good question. Because when I saw it, I started to look into it.
Yes.
And I am not going to answer as if I did a research. I've not done a research, but um I'm assuming here, and I can be corrected. But I know in the early years we had a lot of migration where persons were going to England and America and Canada to
That is
become.
so true. That is so true. That is
We
true.
yeah, we also had deaths as well.
Migration.
Yeah, migration and deaths because there were disease that broke out and we were victims of it as well during that period.
Yes, yes. What was it that same time the polio outbreak was?
It just before the 70s, so it was in the 60s,
Yeah.
19s, and what this we're talking about 1962. And I would imagine that there are some British who were on the voters list and would have removed themselves, seeing that they
Yes,
were
they couldn't vote now. Yes, they
Jamaica
couldn't
was
vote.
into independence. So
I see where it is. Yes.
they would have removed themselves from the voters list. So that would have been the cause for the reduction. But experts can correct me if I'm wrong, but that's just my assumption. And I'm not that old, so maybe somebody who is much older than me could also help
Well,
me.
it's a good assumption.
Yes. So 580,000 persons voted. So even though the amount of persons on the voters list was reduced, there was still an increase in the amount of persons who voted. Because in 1959, 564,000 voted. But in 1962, 580,000 persons voted. So an increase by
Yeah,
six.
right. So some of all who in a parliament and know this way I teach tonight.
And
Some
then
of them
it's a,
in parliament don't know one thing we are talking about. Remember me tell you.
some of them didn't born it. Some of them didn't born it.
Some of them not born it, but they never research history neither.
When I'm talking about 1962, Andrew Holness not born it.
Don't say I'm born it. I never born it,
And me never born it either.
Yeah, we never born
But
it
we
either.
do research, we look up it because it's there.
Yeah.
And this was still Buster versus Norman. Did I give this? Okay.
So the Jamaica Labour Party got 288,000 votes. Now
Yeah.
remember, in 1959 they got 247. So this is like an increase.
But
They got
there's
two,
another thing I look into what you say. 1949. Why would after 3 years they have another election? What causes that? Because it become independent?
it's not uh, right. That is what they said. Um, it was Norman Manley who made that decision not to wait until his 5-year term. But I think there was an issue with the federation where Jamaica wanted to join the federation and
Yeah, yeah.
so
That I did in issue. That I remember, yeah.
yeah. So what he did was just to call an early election just for them to vote on that, which he eventually lost in 1962. So he got 279,000 votes in 1962, and that is coming down from the 305,000 that they got in 1959. So the Jamaica Labour Party got 26 seats to the People's National Party 19 seats. And we're still with 45 seats.
Yes.
In 1967, we continue to see a reduction in the amount of persons registered to vote. In 1962, it was 796 that was on the voters list. It reduced by over 200,000 to 543,000.
Mm.
This
Very
is
good
now
piece of information.
this is now after independence.
Yeah.
So people are migrating, people are taking away themselves, and this number looks like persons who were born in Jamaica, not yeah, born in Jamaica, and are descendants of slaves. They are the ones now who are now being placed on the voters list. So persons who were on it before has removed themselves, and the true Jamaicans are now on the voters list.
True Jamaican, yeah.
Yeah. Of the 543,000 that was on it, 446,000 voted. That is over 80%.
Wow.
That is over 80%. And 4,243 spoiled ballots or rejected ballots. That was a voter turnout of 82%. At that time, now we had 53 seats. So in
Okay.
1967, after independence, we had increased the seats to 53. And again, no independent or third party had a share. It was just shared between the PNP and the JP. The Jamaica Labour Party got 224,000 votes. In 1962, they got 288,000. So there's a reduction, but we
Yeah.
can understand that because there's a reduction in the voters list.
Yes, yes.
The People's National Party in 1962 got 279,000 votes. In 1967, they got 217,000. So the JLP got 33 seats to the PNP 20 seats. Now, who were the two leaders at that time? It was not Norman and Buster.
Was it Shearer
No, it was Sangsters.
Sangster?
And Sangster won that election.
So it would be Sangster and Norman?
Yeah. And Sangster won that election.
But Norman really run a lot of election from 44 to 69.
Yes, man. In stick out longer than Buster, even though he died before Buster.
So okay, but then now in the 70s now we are gonna come back on foot now.
You realize that we're now entering into the 70s.
Yes.
A period that we can vividly remember.
We
If
all
it
have
is,
remember that one. As for me, I will always remember that. That's
yes,
when I can remember vividly.
vividly. So
Yeah,
everything,
as a child, still a young child, but I remember everything.
yeah.
Nordy said that songster died soon after from rat poisoning.
And based on that now, 1972 election, it wasn't Sangster who was going to be up. Neither was it Norman Manley.
I think that was Shearer and Michael Laudo.
You are correct. Michael Manley and you share.
Yeah.
A total of 605,000 voters were on the voters list, an increase.
In
No,
1960,
I think there's a little misinformation though. After Sangster win, I think he gave up and give it to Shearer, you know.
yes, man, he got sick and gave it over to
Yeah,
Shearer.
because Shearer, that's how Shearer become prime minister.
In fact, it is in the same year that he won, you know.
Because Shearer never really win no election for himself.
Right. Not at all.
A lot of people need to know that you Shearer never win
No,
election for himself.
the Sangster did not do not even 6 months.
Yeah, he never do well at all. Donald Sangster never do well.
Do long.
Yeah.
So
But
so
there's a little gossip around that though, you know. See,
uh,
I own people then try to analyze him.
well, that was rumored. I'm not sure if
Yeah, I'm
how
not
true
sure,
it
but
is.
we know so we hear that thing come
Yes,
out. So
certainly.
yeah.
So in 72, there was an increase in the number of persons on the voters list from 543 to 605. The amount of persons who voted were 446,000 in 67, but in 1972 that increased to 477,000 and the rejects were 4,100. So we are keeping the rejects below 5,000 here, which is not bad. Um, the People's that there are still 53 seats. The People's National Party were victorious in this election, the 1972 election. They got 37 seats to 16 for the Jamaica Labour Party. They got
Well,
266,000 votes, and the JLP got 205,000 votes, and that's an increase.
someone like a share
You share a beaten,
a good beat, yes.
sent him in retirement. In 1976, the voters list moved from 605,000 to 870,000, so an increase of 270,000.
Yeah.
The amount of persons who voted moved from 477,000 to 742,000. The reject ballots were 6,200, so there was an increase in the amount of reject ballots. It is in 1976 that we first introduced 60 seats to Parliament.
Oh,
So in 72 it was 53, but by
yeah,
76 we increased that by adding seven more to it.
yeah.
And you can understand there was effort to increase enumeration, and that increased the amount of persons on the list by over 200,000.
So
The people
in
party,
76, who did Michael Manley go up again?
Philip Edward George Siaga. That's the first time he was running for prime minister in
Yeah,
Jamaica in 1976. But prior to that, he took over from Hugh Shearer. You know, they went on a campaign to say Hugh Shearer is not winnable, and
yes.
so must be replaced. And so he emerged as the likable replacement. All right. So that was the first defeat for Edward Siago, and he planned.
No
And
man. Remember that man.
yeah,
That me not forget none at all.
yeah. In 1980, we had the Eventide on fire. We
Mm-hmm.
had a lot of sabotage. The goods on the supermarket shelves were missing, and a whole lot of things. It was rumored that Jamaica was going communist.
Yeah, man.
A whole
I
lot of
remember
things.
and he a plane a flying at the sky on a day to deliverance from communists. You don't
Yeah.
remember them plane where have a fly all over Jamaica? Hey, them are one dangerous set of people, them,
Yeah, so other pastor who had a plane flying and saying deliverance is near, remember because his church had deliverance in its name. You know, the name. But
In 1980 was a disastrous year. It's a
Yeah,
year. It's a year when bogus vote was at an all-time high. A lot of persons who were dead persons voted in their names. A lot
yeah.
of people who didn't go out to vote persons voted in their names. So no wonder why the voter turnout was extremely high. There were in 1980 there were 990,000 persons on the list, and 860,000 persons voted. So we've gone over a 90% voter turnout there in 1980. Then Seaga called a snap election in 1983. What was the difference in the voters list? In 1980, it was 990,417. In 1983, it is 990,586. So it was only increased by 175 persons. Only 175 persons added to the list. When you compare all the other years, it's gone into the tens of thousands of
That's
persons.
why Manley never contest the election. There was, hey, people on the line, the Jamaica Labour Party are tricksters them for a long time, yeah? All right.
Now I'm going to ask the class a question, and Auntie, if you want to answer, you're gonna have to wait until the class responds.
Yeah, definitely I will.
In 1983, when the People's National Party refused to contest the election because the voters list, according to the People's National Party, was not fit and ready for an election, there were 990,586 persons on the voters list. Can anyone tell us of that 990,586 persons on the voters list, how many persons turned out to vote for the Jamaica Labour Party? I don't want anybody to do any lookup. Don't research. Just if you want to guess, you can guess. About how many persons you think of the 990,586 persons on the voters list when the People's National Party boycotted the 1983 election? How many labor rights voted in 1983 election of the 990,000 persons on the list? Somebody said 550,000. Okay. Keep coming with the thing. Somebody said 20 under 20,000. That is too low, Nathaniel Brown. But in as much as it is too low, it is far, far closer than 550,000. Somebody said 25,000. That's a little bit low. Add 1,500 to it. 26,000 persons voted for the Jamaica Labour Party out of 990,000. So the Jamaica Labour Party and Siaga formed the government in 1983
with just 26,500 people voted for them out of 990,586 people. That's a disgrace. That's a shame.
Well, I'm learning something new tonight because I never really check how many person did vote. All me always know that no, PNP never contest the election, but I never know that only 26,000 people voted for the JLP in 1983.
10% of 900,000 is 990, but 10% of 900,000 is 90,000. They got 26,000. That's less than 10%. Half of 90,000 is 45,000. They got 26, so that's less than 5%. Can you
Less than 5%,
what
yes.
go so?
Less than 5%. I used to say never work out well for them neither. And that, for them because from 83 to 89,
And you know
them
what?
I was
Graceful.
them in the parliament and the Jamaica people have vote back for them. Why? Why was it so?
And you know what? Disgraceful, the amount of money that was spent to host that election, and only 26,000 persons voted. It's not a by election, it's a general election.
I only a pity man they didn't contest the election because for some reason the people just never really like that man, you know, and him a push himself for people to like him, you know.
Somebody said 89, I think it was 45 seats. No, we passed 45 seats um from in 1959. That's when we had 45 seats. We had 45 seats in 1962, but in 1967 we changed it to 53. And in 72 we still had 53. In 1976 it increased to 60. In 1980 it was still 60. In 1983 it was still 60. The JLP took all of them. 26,543 votes they got. Independent got 1,500. The Republican Party got 257. The Christian Science Movement got 704. And the Jamaica United Front got 144. And sorry, it's not 26,000 that voted for the JLP. It's 23,000 because 26,000 voted, but persons voted otherwise. They only got 23,000 of the amount, about 2.5 to 3% of the votes. 3% made you prime minister. How many Jamaicans knew that? 3% of the voting population made you prime minister. 3%.
3%.
Mm.
Wow.
Mm.
Amanda, when you said they should get this history class, the whole of them in they need a history class.
In 1989, the very first time the amount of persons on the voters list went over a million. In 1989, we had 1,078,000 persons. Of that amount, 845,000 persons voted, near to 8%, 80% voter turnout in 89, and 8,500 spoiled ballots. 60 seats, JLP got 15 seats, PNP 45. Michael Manley defeated Seattle again.
That one me remember like yesterday.
Yeah. 362,000 votes went to the JLP.
As a matter of fact, 19, that year was the first time I was voting. 1989? Yes, 1989 was the first time that I voted for the People's National Party.
Okay.
Yeah, because remember, 1981, 1980, I didn't reach voting age.
Okay.
All of the 80s was Siaga.
Yes, you're
So
right.
my first time voting for the People's National Party and Michael Manley was 1989. Never
Yes.
forget that.
They're about the same time. It's not 89, it's 93 I voted for the first time. So in 89, 473,000 persons voted for the PNP
Yeah.
and down from zero. Am I correct?
Yeah,
That's
and that's what I tell people, I hear people are trying to
from
talk, oh, how can the PMP with JLP with 49 seats come talk about they're going to win? They can't win that deficit. The People's National Party win 1989 election with zero.
yes, they had no vote
We
in
had nothing in there.
83, and in 6 years after, you see what him did at 6 years in tech before him called the next election. Time no, say him gonna lose, when him supposed to take 5 years. You see that some people are follow Siaga, some people in Jamaica Labour Party are follow Siaga play with election.
Yes.
All right,
No, what really did happen though, I can't start to remember that though. The Hurricane Gilbert came.
88.
And when the hurricane should come. So that was devastating. And that was
Mm-hmm.
one of the reasons why the election never called till 89. That I can remember. I remember when they did have it sink and they said to them a cell downtown.
Mm-hmm. But you know that the hurricane was September, so
Yes.
he deliberately delayed the election because into that
But,
call.
but they did have a grounds for delay still, in all fairness, because of the place they devastated back to,
Yes, yes.
and electricity never come back on and all of them something in some place. So the election couldn't really call for the
Mm-hmm.
latter end of 88. So that was a good ground for him.
Yeah, so we got 45 seats and the JP got 15 seats. So they we got a two-third majority, and that was able to help us a lot. In 1993, what you think? The PMP will improve? Certainly they did. But what for whatever reason, in 1989, the amount of personal voters this was 1,078,760. But in 1993, it went down to 1,002,000. So about 76,000.
Remember that they clean up the voters list, take off
That's
with
right.
the people, them when they put it and all of that. Remember the cleanup
The
campaign?
PNP, yes, under the PNP government,
Yes,
because they are concerned with the list that was a dirty list. So
yes.
they committed to get it clean. So we see a reduction in the amount of persons, just by 76,000. But we,
Nathaniel didn't hear the question how much Michael Manley won by in 89. Michael Manley won 45 seats to the JLP 15 seats.
yes, and to Siago, we defeated. In 1993, the amount of persons who voted reduced. So from 845,000 in 89, it went down to 675,000. And I think 100,000 jail laborites didn't go to vote. And more than likely, they said it doesn't make sense because they know they're going to lose. And there were about 70,000 PNP who did not go to vote. I guess they assumed that PNP were not ready, so they don't need to go. But at the end of the day, JLP got 8 seats to the People's National Party, 52
Yeah,
seats.
8 seats, them get after that. And nobody would have voted for Edward Seaga.
Yeah, he was being battered. Siaga was now being battered, and
Yeah,
the Jamaica Labour Party start to see there start to be a division at this time. Um, they realize that Edward Siaga is no more winnable for the Jamaica Labour Party, but
and he never want to step down.
he refused to leave. So what happened at that time now? Bruce Golding decided to leave the party and form the NDM.
Yeah, I remember that.
So he formed the NDM and would present himself as a viable alternative in the 1997 election. So it is interesting for us to see the performance of Bruce Golding and did it affect the Jamaica Labour Party and in what way in 1997 election.
Yes.
The amount of persons on the list increased and it's the first, it's the highest ever to 1,182,000. Of that amount, 771,000 persons voted, which is an increase from the 675,000 who voted in 1993. There was reject ballots of 6,200. The NDM took 36,700 votes from the Jamaica Labour Party. 36,707 votes. And so the Jamaica Labour Party ended up with 297,000 votes. And the People's National Party with a whopping 429,000 votes. And this gave them 50 seats to the Jamaica Labour Party, 10 seats. And you think Siaga done, but him say not done yet.
The same man that never let go, man. Jesus.
When you said beam vitality or something like that,
Yeah.
but in that letting go, and PJ was just laughing. So in 2002, the voters list increased by a whopping 120,000. It's now 1,301,000 persons on the voters list. 768,000 voted. 768,000 voted, and that is less than those who voted in 1997, because in 1997 it was 771,000. So about 3,000 persons less.
Somebody saying, Ron, so can the gentleman speak a little louder?
Oh, okay. Sorry. All right. Can you hear me better now?
You should, because you sound louder to me too.
Okay, good. So which year are we now? In 2002.
2002. Yeah.
Right. So in 2002, 1,301,000 persons are on the voters list. 768,000 voted, which is lower than the 771,000 who voted in 1997. The NDM who got 36,000 votes in 1997, they were dwindled down to 2,800 votes, so they weren't much a factor. The Jamaica Labour Party increased their votes to 360,000. Remember, they got 297,000 in 97. So you see how much they had improved. But the People's National Party still maintained their lead, even though they went down from 429,000 to 396,000. So at the end of the day, the People's National Party won the 2002 election with 34 seats to the Jamaica Labour Party, 26 seats. Siago was finally unalive.
Finally then.
Finally.
Man, who was the man? Hold on, I know one leg, man.
And PJ gave it up as well. PJ bowed out gracefully as a champion.
Yes. I remember.
And handed over the baton to Mama P, even though it went into a runoff.
It run in a runoff with she and Peter Phillips, and from there cause a little division.
That spelled destruction.
Yes. But Mama P came out victorious. I remember that. I can repeat that like yesterday, yeah.
Yeah. Everything coming clearer now and clearer.
Yes. Yeah.
So in 2007, 1,336,000 persons on the voter list, an increase of 36,000. 829,000 persons voted, an increase of 768. So even though we are an argument that voter turnout is low, one of the things that is quite evident is that more persons keep voting in each election. The only reason why the voter turnout percentage is low It's because more persons are added to the list than those who are coming out to vote as new voters. But the truth is, more persons vote each time an election is called. Only probably two times we see a reduction in the amount of persons. So in 2007, it was a battle between Portia and Bruce. And Bruce tasted victory.
albeit short-lived, but he got 410,000 votes to the People's National Party, Portia Simpson 400.
5,000 votes. So it wasn't a massive victory. The Jamaica Labour Party got 32 seats to the People's National Party, 28 seats.
I remember that.
Then the Dudu situation emerged, and Bruce got himself into some problems and had to step down, and Brogard took the seat.
William name Broga at the time, you know.
No,
In name Andrew Oles that time. You
yes,
know when you
yes.
get the Broga thing,
After he won the first election.
2020, next time I can give me name.
Okay.
Remember that man?
So in 2011, Mama P wheel and come again. Almost 300,000 persons were added to the voters list. The voters list now passed 1.5 million for the first time, and
Yes, yes.
1,648,000 persons were on the list. 876,000 persons voted, an increase of 50,000 persons. And the PNP doubled the seats of the JLP. The JLP got 21 and the PNP got 42 seats.
Mm-hmm.
At that time, no, we were at 63. So the first time that 63 seats were used was in 2011.
2011, we had 63 seats.
Right. And the PNP got 42 to the JLP
So
21.
I remember that, and I remember Andrew Oles called the election in December,
Mhm.
right down to near to Christmas. And
Yes,
that's
and
when
big time.
Portia beat him street and lane.
That one he lose big time. There were 5,000 rejected ballots in 2011 election. So we have two elections left, 2016 and 2020. Those are the two elections that the Jamaica Labour Party have won. And
Can you read
according
time come write a comment? Can you see it, Ron?
to it take a long time. After influence of women's let's see.
He said many persons on the voters list live overseas for years. They have no intention of voting. This will always suppress the voters' turnout.
Perfectly correct. Perfectly correct. So one of the reasons why we are suffering from a low voter turnout is because you have probably about 20% of the persons on the list who are not in Jamaica has
Yeah,
not voted in the last 3 to 5 elections. But it is you're reluctant to remove them from the list because they can just show up in Jamaica tomorrow and want to
yeah, they
vote.
can just show up because them they're dead.
But there
So
is a risk. There is a risk that political scammers can use these names to produce fake votes.
well, I never get to vote. I never get to vote 2006. No, hold on. As a matter of fact, I didn't vote three election now because I was on island. 2011, I plan was to come home and vote. But you know, that's very year when I plan to come home and vote. That's the same year my father died and my husband died that very same year. So it was overwhelming for me. So I never 2016. Why I didn't come? A plan was to come and I say I come vote for poor China man. I vote for her when she lost to Bruce. but I didn't get to vote for her 2000, like me tell you my circumstances. Then 2020 again, I planned, even though I never went to, but the virus and we couldn't fly out. So as he said, sometimes the persons who are overseas don't get to vote. But what I
Yeah.
did after 2020, when I came home in 21, I make sure I check, get back I'm still on the voters list. Even though I didn't vote those elections, I'm still on the voters list.
Yeah. So
So
tell
that is
us.
a fact. That is a factor that we have to look at. Persons who are overseas on the voters list, but not coming home to vote or because of circumstance or whatever it is. And one thing I know, the only circumstances can stop me this time unless I'm unalive.
Okay.
There's
Well,
no way I am going to make this one pass. If I'm alive, I don't care where in the world me is. I have to make sure Mark Golden become the next prime minister of Jamaica. And it take everybody vote, and my vote is most important this time around than any other time.
which also means we have to make sure that we see the back of this wicked government.
That's why I say my vote is important. Anywhere me is it going to cost me to come home, but guess what? That's not relevant to me as long as I get to cast my vote. As a matter of fact, me have one of my person on this live tell me say, don't worry, they will buy me ticket if I'm not there. But I will
Okay.
soon be there anyhow. So we won't need no ticket.
All right. So
Yes,
let us just wrap
Simone.
up the last two.
Michael Napier is saying, me too, auntie. Cooking with Elaine and me too. So I have some people on the live here. We serious. Hey, I take it very serious. Believe in me, I take it very, very serious. Oh, Sophia Ali saying the only one she didn't vote was because of the lockdown. A lot of people didn't vote because of
Yeah.
persons were scared. We didn't know what was happening and all of that. So I would even call it an election. I call it like that's why I know Andrew going to lose. You say, oh, you're going through all the sequence of how the election took place. It's the same way that Edward Siaga saw that he could have won back the election and the old voters list. And because of
Mhm.
that, a 3 year later, he call him election, we
Yeah.
have 5 years to call it, But I'm so
Mhm.
egoistic that he will want to call it. And he did, and he won. That's the same thing Andrew always did with the 2020 election. It was a joke, but because he see it as a good opportunity, try to coach their people to go out, and our people never go out and he get what he got. You see, for this time, he's going to get a whop in for that. It's a cycle coming back around. Same
Yeah, man.
fate Edward Siaga is going to take Andrew Olaf. He could have paraded over Jamaica so much. He could have cut ribbon till he can cut them no more. He could have ground till he can broke all the ground no more. It's not going to help him.
The corruption, the corruption, the high increase that he has given to the parliamentarians is what separates him from PJ Patterson. He did some work that is noticeable, especially the continuation of the highway that the PNP started.
Yeah.
And to a lesser extent, even though it's just minute in terms of its effects, the housing program that he's implementing. But the high level of corruption that has plagued him and his government
Yeah, man.
makes it untenable and impossible for him to benefit from a third term the way PJ Patterson had benefited because PJ Patterson was able to get a third term because of what he did for Jamaica. When we talk about highways, it was under PJ's government that we see a massive highway project called Highway 2000 rolled
That,
out.
that is so
It was,
true.
it was under PJ Patterson government where we see a lot of poor fathers who were finding it hard to send their kids to school and to be a real father by caring for their kids was able to get cars, used cars, and go into the taxi business and started to make themselves a man and help their kids. It was under the PJ Patterson government that cellular phone became so common, making life easy for many and ordinary Jamaicans. So
Yeah.
when it was under PJ Patterson that we were able to see the amount of houses right across Jamaica, new houses being built. So that marveled the population. And because of that, they gave him a third term because he worked for it.
Gary Mosley saying the North Coast Highway too. You know, I
Yes,
don't talk
yes.
about the North Coast Highway. You know, I heard. None of the road that they take up the name Siaga Highway.
Yeah, they named one of the highway that he built. Siaga,
Listen
that's
to me. I want when the People's National Party win,
they
that name
renamed it.
Edward Siaga can remove. Carry go put it on a Tivoli for one of the avenue them and give that the name to Edward Siaga. Edward
And,
Siaga never want the road to build.
and you notice accident are going on it too. Some terrible
I,
accident are
you
going
see,
on
they
it.
were saying about them again and a country band for. They come and say like halfway tree, which part they make there for the bus them, you know. Mama P do that, you know. And we
Mm.
lost the election and they run a gun cut ribbon like I did them did. I even do a government project and all of that. So everything what the PNP do, I mean, no, look on the JOTC, but I cut you. But look on JOTC, but every time I miss a Darrell Vaz, I take your brag and boat, but and I go on. It hurt me. None of them understand. But every time I see that thing, every time I see Darrell Vaz, I check the JOTC, but like you want to parade it now. You don't know how that hurt me. You don't know how much that hurt my feeling. You know why? They call PJ Patterson chichi man because of the bus. And they come now and take a parade with about them and study this and study this and forget political points of something that was initiated by the People's National Party that them never want. That's what hurt me about it. The same thing about Portmore hurt me about Portmore, you know. If you see them can take Portmore now turning a political football. That's why when Damien Crawford have to come out the other day and make them know how really started and now man manly.
Come on, turn it into a political parish
I
for
want
real.
to turn it into a political football. Like yesterday, I was watching a clip. They got cut ribbon in a Michael Phillips and the caretaker of the JLP want to be there at the presentation too. And him and a member of parliament. And it turning out one saga, I never get to say any of the clip of it. Then count the labor right people, PMP and for them people there. I don't know if you see it. Anyway, continue your show.
Yes, Auntie. Yeah, we just have 2016. We got 1,824,000 persons on the voters list. 882,000 persons voted. The PNP lost it by one seat, 31 to 32. Interesting, 433,700 persons voted for the PNP and 436,900 voted for the JLP. So they had just a 3,000 majority over the PNP.
Yeah.
So Andrew defeated Portia there, and then we see Portia took her retirement. In 2020, 1,913 persons, 410 are on the voters list. 724,000 voted, so there was a reduction in the amount of persons who voted. This doesn't happen regularly, right? And this was during the COVID time. 8,000 persons spoiled their ballots. The PNP got 306,000, which gave them 14 seats, and the JP got 408,000, which gave them 49
Well,
seats.
I like. Give me back the number. I want everybody to listen keenly to this figure. The 2020 general election, although the JP won so many seats, give us the number of votes that they get again.
They got 408,000 votes,
And the PMP.
306,000.
So you see, look, why I try to highlight this, you know. Even though they have 49 seats to the PNP 14.
It's just a
You'd think
100
that they
voting.
have a vast amount, but the numbers wasn't all that high.
Yeah. In summary, since adult suffrage
Yeah,
1944 to 2020, we have had 18 elections.
18 elections.
18 elections.
Yeah.
The People's National Party have won 9, and the Jamaica Labour Party has won 9. 2025 will be the 19th election. Whoever wins it gets the head.
Very interesting. Thank you, boy. All over the channel, I'll get them a kind of something. This is interesting. So, since universal adult suffrage,
Mm,
1944,
yeah.
we have 18 general election, and it is split in the middle by both parties.
Yes,
So,
9
any
9.
party that win this 25 election would move ahead.
Definitely. Even though I
Interesting.
invalid 1983, and so I still give the PNP the edge, but it is still counted as a general election.
Yes.
So we split it 9-9.
Yes, because it was a general election, so you can't
Yes.
omit it. It was the
And I think
PMP's choice not to.
the prime minister was declared.
Yeah,
So it's official.
yeah. Wow.
Another useful observation is numeration. We
Yeah.
see numeration is very active throughout the years of our political life.
Yeah, man, enumeration is important. And
Yes.
get the vote and get your voters out on election day. Know your voters.
Yeah.
And I hear PJ Patterson was telling Mark Golding, say, get your people them on the saddle up.
Look at the trend since 2022. Since November 2022, we had 2,001,000 persons on the voters list. By May the next year, May 2023, we had 2,017,000. So there was an
Oh, that's
increase.
a lot.
There was an increase of 16,000. By
Yeah.
November of the same year, from May to November, we had 2,031,000. So that's another 14,000 that was added to it. And by May the next year, 2024, we had 2,048,000. So there's a progressive increase in enumeration. And as of November 30, 2024, there are 2,062,000 persons on the voters list. So we have
Mm.
gone over the 2 million threshold.
So that would say two-thirds of Jamaica on the voters list.
Definitely.
Interesting.
Mhm.
So let us give a little synopsis of what we think the 25 election will look like. So when we speak about history again, what are we anticipating 2025?
I'm anticipating and I'm predicting a increase in voter turnout from 2020, somewhere around 40% voter turnout.
Lenward Donovan is asking you to repeat the 2020 count again for him.
2020 election results?
Yes.
Sure.
Carmen Taylor just came on. Is this person a male or a female? Who you ask, me or him? I am a female and him is a male. So I don't know who you ask. So I just identify. I am a female and he's a male. Maybe because you saw him with the hairstyle. Well, that's the style of man them are wear now, plait up their hair. But he's a male, I'm the female. His name is Ron Perry. My name is Antigen.
Yeah, the 2020, there were 1,913 persons on the voters list. 724,000 persons voted. The Jamaica Labour Party had 408,000 votes, to the People's National Party 306,000 votes. The PNP got 14 seats, to the JLP 49 seats.
Could you break down what was the majority votes that the JLP got over the PMP?
Okay. It's 102,000.
102,000.
Mhm.
And I am saying for the next party that get 14 seats, and you have 49, and your vote count is just 100,000 more votes. That's a poor, because some of the constituency, some of the winners were just by a mere margin,
Yeah, under 100 votes.
under 100 votes.
Mhm.
So, what is our prediction?
All right. So as I said, voter turnout, I expect it to be between 40 to 43%.
You don't think it may go up to 60?
Not necessarily. Not necessarily.
I think a lot of
There's
people
still,
have an interest to vote.
yeah, there is still a chunk of persons who are not interested in the political system, but it will go up to 43% because the PNP base has been mobilized and they have stayed on for the past two elections. They are coming out and they will flip it up from the 38% that we had in the last to 40, 42, or 43 the most.
I would say the PNP stay home in 2016. I think we did a poor canvassing. We lost by one seat. There was some. I think that's why you have to be careful. A day in politics can cost you an election, so you have to just steadfast. 2020 is when we don't really go vote. 2020 was when the PNP really never go vote and stayed home. And there's not only the COVID factor we have with that too, but I will leave the other factor and when you talk about it.
Hello,
Uh,
Carmen.
Ashani Marcus said it will be over 50%.
Okay.
How do you see it look now? If we should, from what you're picking up, because we're not really underground, but we are watching the politics so we can see the movements. Um, the polls that Anansi come out and make it clearer too that the momentum is with the PMP.
I
So
um Dayton Campbell said they are looking at 37 to 38 seats,
no, it's at 38 to 39 seats.
or 38 to 39.
Yeah.
That is 2 to 3 seats more than what I had predicted as the minimum amount. But then the ones that I put in the nine that I put into wait to see column, there is no doubt that we will collect at least three or more from out of that nine. So I think we are seeing eye to eye.
Uh, what is interesting with me though is that Horace Shango said he's looking for 36 to 37 seats. That tells me that is conceding that they will not win back 49 seats. Now, if I take away 36 from 49, that would let me have a 14,
Yeah.
36 and 4, 9 and 13, 13 seats, right? Who
Yeah.
is that 13 that Orange Strong is saying will not win their seat back? Can you give me the highlight on what you think, why he says that? That's coming from him. That's coming from Orange Strong.
I think
So
it's not just
we are sure, according to Orishang, that 13, 14 of the members of parliament for the JLP will not win back their seat. Let me see who will not win back. Type in the give me a little thumbs up of what you think in your mind.
and not only that it's coming from him, I think it is coming from their internal polls. I think it is their internal polls that is um, suggesting certain things to them.
So who will be the loser, you think?
Well, after we identify our 36, it's cleared. We identify some of the big
No,
names.
no, we identify them, but we are saying if the general secretary of the Jamaica Labour Party is saying his party will win 36 to 37 seats. The People's National Party said 38 to 39. So who that still does not win election? We need all hands on deck. Yeah, we're going to get them out. Listen up. I take out Marlene Malaw's phone. So in the comment, you can type in, guys, I know Anne-Marie Vaz. So somebody say, so we are take out, so let me write them down. We are take out, we say if we can get the 14 tonight. So we are take out Anne-Marie Vaz. I'm taking out, I'm taking out Marlene Malawi Ford. All right. Ah, interesting chronicles. You're saying we should take out Nigel seat. Interesting. Interesting. Floyd Green. Whoa, 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 whoa. I better write down all I want to put there. Nigel seat. Floyd Green. Veronica, you want me to take out Chang too? You know, easy. You think Chang will give up him seat? Oh, Chang not give up his seat, but better write it still. Chang, I'm going to buy that out. Andrew seat. I would have, I believe Andrew more losing seat more than Chang. I must tell you the truth in my judgment. I believe Andrew. Yeah, Robert Chin. Robert Chin is going to lose his seat. Rhoda. Somebody is saying Rhoda. No, we're talking, Kimon. We're talking about. So I don't want you to put Roysha. I want you to put Michelle Charles. Is it labor right then? You know we're talking about. Uh, did anyone say, oh, British news media drill Ed Bartlett, all lies exposed? Whoa. Montague. Oh, yes, yes, Enriquez. Montague. Donovan Williams. Cuthbert. All right, let me see how much we have here. So now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Give me one more. We have Bobby already. Flavor, all right. All right, now, Ron, I want you to give me a judgment now. I'm going to call the names of what the viewers write in the comment, and then you give me your honest analysis if you think so. All right? Anne
Mhm.
Marie Vaz.
I agree.
All right, so we take Anne Marie Vaz. Marlene Malawi Ford.
Not sure.
Not sure. All right. So we leave that. Nigel seat.
No.
Floyd Green seat.
Him gone. I
Him gone?
agree. Yeah.
You agree with that. Chang.
Chang,
August Chang.
don't agree.
Don't agree. Andrew Oles.
Don't agree.
Robert Chin.
I agree. Him gone.
Rhoda.
She gone. I agree.
Michelle Charles.
She's gone. I agree.
Enriquez.
Who is going up against?
Azan.
Yes, he's gone.
Montague.
Yes, man. I'm gone from long time.
Donovan Williams.
No. Oh, you mean Central Kingston?
Yes.
Yeah, man, him gone. I think he that talk the Feather. I think a Feather he that talk. The other Williams.
Cuthbert Flynn,
Yeah, man, she gone. I agree.
Flavor.
She's gone. She's history.
All right, so out of them we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So you agree with 10, but you disagree with 4. But I'm seeing somebody put in um Terry Long. Somebody's putting in Terry Long and somebody's putting in Oma Davis. I agree with Oma Davis.
I agree with Terry Long.
So you don't agree with Oma Davis.
That is hold for me.
Well, me not hold no one there. Me I declare the one there.
You know
But
more than
I mean
me.
I just say it now.
Like
I
you
mean,
know what I mean.
huh?
Maybe you know something I don't know.
Because I'm look at the last local government election, he only won
Okay.
one division.
And the girl won the other two.
The other three, it's 4 division.
Okay. Okay.
Let's look at it again. Let's look at the last local government election result.
Who is running against? Nikisha?
Yes, I am really
No.
declaring it for Nikisha Burchell.
Me have her at the nine, but swinging to PNP, so
So you're not give her yet. So
but
we have flight rate
I
right
don't
now.
I don't declare it for the JP.
Hey, what if I trouble in the JLP camp right now,
Fenija
Defend Nikisha, and like Fenisha knows something.
No,
Fenija.
me I want no, let me show you the numbers what going on so now. And if she's lovable, she's lovable in the constituency.
Yeah, Xavier Main, I agree with that name.
Xavier main gone.
Oh, Xavier Main, you think so?
Hmm.
So oh you don't agree with Xavier Main, but you don't agree with Oma Davis. What is the difference?
The candidate that I see how they work on the ground and how they make me feel.
Oh yes, Carmen, Moreland Wilson. Very good. Even at the 14.
Yeah, man, him gone. But
Them the name everybody from? Oh, them the name the Anova and the
Westmoreland people, them, the one of them people they gone. So
You're right, you're right, you're right, you're right. Then we don't have
you're
more than
14,
14, you know. That would
you're 14 bus, you're 14 bus to tape in a auntie.
Hold on, hold on. Then we have one of the orange trying to talk about George, right? And we want to one with data to run against him again.
Don't you remember them name?
Uh, where the bush up face man. He never shave up himself good yet.
Don't you remember them name?
Oh,
The whole of St. Mary gone. How them not called down? How them not put down out a road?
yeah, we they call them the day. So, any how you put here now? The whole of Westmoreland gone. The whole of Hanover gone.
Mm-hmm. We
So right
taking
now,
one from
wait,
we taking one
right now
from
for 5
Trelawney.
minutes. But watch it. You see where we right now?
Mm-hmm.
Right there for 5. Westmoreland and Hanover, 5 seats.
Yeah.
Right? And if you put St. Mary again, with 2 out of
Mm-hmm.
St. Mary,
I want to Trelawney,
7 seats.
the one
One
from
out
North
of
Carolina.
Trelawney, where we sure right now, that are 8 seats.
Mm-hmm.
When you come in Manchester now, we take out back 2 of the seats where we sure about that are 10 seats.
Yes.
So we not even reach up at East yet. Just PMP have this clear, man. PMP just hold their head focus. I
Date,
done it.
date, Daytime
I done it.
prediction is
We not even
daytime
burn it.
prediction is
I done it.
final.
Listen to me. It done, brother. And Sharon Van is saying all of Portmore and Dalrymple too. Let me tell you something. So surprised. I'm going to start Trelawney, you know, but we are going to watch it because when we
Mm-hmm.
look from Patmore groundwork, it look
Yeah.
more effective than Dalrymple right now. But we not call it.
But may I ask you a question, Auntie? You
Yeah.
think if Maurice Chang had information that is only 27 seats, the JLP sure to win, he would come on TV and say that?
No. And if you look at
Yeah.
him body language and him
Okay.
demeanor,
You don't believe what
if
he's
you
saying.
talk about and Dayton just did a smile and a laugh, you can see that Orange know way, way more than what he said. Somebody said the man named Daniel Lawrence. I'm gonna tell you, he was gonna run against Dayton Campbell. Two
Okay.
old wrinkle shaved bird. Who that? When name? 1999. You're not gonna live for wrinkle like me and Rowan, you know. So you can always show your eyes. It's a blessing to live to be wrinkle boy and still in our right mind.
You don't even have no name. Come on, you know what kind of
When
name.
you Rowan, I never
I
know.
don't even know what kind of name that. You don't even have no name. Go look at name.
He doesn't even have no name. Oh
Go look
my!
at name.
I love this. I love this tonight, man. Chang
Yeah.
might just look. It all those sleeps are easy still. The man, they don't feel, the man, they don't get the, but anyway, other people, they just change their mind, you know. We don't know, but for all indication of what we're seeing on the ground. All right, look on this way. Um, Feda Ghana Clarendon, gonna say him at the welcome party. That me did I talk about last night and it's stupid internet just cut off. Let me show you now. If this are the introduction of him going into Central Clarendon, and if them not get it changed, then them in a trouble. You hear me say? And somebody just send me one note here, me so read the note. That comment that somebody write. Let me read it. Because I never put on this. Let me read the note. It
Who have
says
money?
Jamaica First, One Maypen Initiative, Voice of the People, March 8, 2025. To the Jamaica Labour Party and Jamaica Owners, 20 Belmont Road, Kingston 5, Jamaica. So, this is the subtopic. Ungratefulness is worse than witchcraft, slash obvious. First Samuel, no, I laugh at that. First Samuel 15:23. Regarding the recent development in Central Clarendon constituency for the replacement of Member of Parliament, the Honourable Mike L. Henry, as the current MP recommend his choice of candidate for the constituency and the right constitutional process for choosing the candidate was ignored and blatant disrespect was awarded to Mr. Henry. As we anticipate the next general election, Clarendon, Maypen Central, let us remember the greatness of Mr. Henry. He has always supported and protected the development of Maypen. This is not the first attack on the MP. We remember well how the MP requested him to change the political boundaries line, and he detected it. Mr. Henry stand up against a corrupt Edward Siaga and now Andrew Holness, who is currently before the court for corruption. The other factors are that the councillors who are constantly greedy for money that is not allocated to them. Mr. Henry integrity was well balanced. Over the years, Mr. Davis, who was desperate and always bad mind against Joel Williams, and Mr. Douglas, who never won a local election, constantly against Mr. Henry for money. He all borrowed from the bank against his house that the bank took away. Mr. Henry made it clear taxpayers' money cannot use for personal use. We know the betrayal of these councillors. They are enemy to the state daily. They constantly promise the business community contract and extort the hell out of them. Mr. Henry hold a strong grip against corruption. We are also aware of the violence that are pending due to the fact criminal elements are planned, planted. The farm community for a new one other gang. Hence, the voice note or leak for the death of, for the unalive of Tickman. Watch your now story come to bum. To the Maypen, the headquarter of the one order, a JLP institution of crime and violence. We have the evidence. You are the most ungrateful person. Mr. Henry never gave you a luxury car out of taxpayer money. And the other female who constantly use crime and violence, remember, there's still ballot box left at the stash location. We hope to assure the public that a no to Delroy Williams is a no to violence and crime. We are calling for the resignations of those councillors. Save Maypen, all your vote, no sure election day, business community 61 plus. We recommend not to support the general election financially. Don't be afraid to vote PMP if it means to put your ex beside the head. A Jamaica First initiative and Maypen initiative. Regards, voice of the people. Thank you. L. Mike and Michael Henry, CD, MP. What do you say about the letter?
That letter is coming from Mike Henry.
Huh? Well, there's no signature to the letter, but at the end of whoever write the letter, it have thank you, L. Michael Henry, CD, MP. So if somebody wrote the letter, address it to the Jamaica Labour Party office directly to Andrew Michael Owens, and they write all of this information in the letter. I will be making a video and put it out clearly so you can read it.
Yeah.
Good
Sounds
night,
like
man.
problem.
No, man, this sound, you hear them a kind of story where I come out? You hear them a story where I come out though? The
Mhm.
people then say they are the evidence. But one thing in the letter is true is that Andrew Owens, who is currently before the court for corruption, I am just stating about that's going to be one of his demise. Now, Kerma walk on a parade all over Jamaica. The corruption. And I said it before and I say it again. As much as I want to take the good night Beverly Gray, the SSL situation simple. It is not simple. You tell us that the leader is a fear man. Woke the black man. You listen to me, you can't like say they see the brother or whatever and be woke the black man. You come over, you can hear me talk. Where you come put in that now go woman to keep quiet. A politics me talk, so woman can't talk politics so? No, brother, you look like you must sleep and dream on me. Why you left come from the channel now when me talk politics I can't tell me about? Woman is not permitted to preach or to exercise authority over a man. Which man may exercise authority
You
over?
need to
And
understand the
what kind of
scripture.
message may I preach here tonight?
But you
How
need
this
to
how the
understand the
scripture
scripture.
coming at this tonight? You sound foolish and it's so stupid.
You
You
need
know,
to
come here
understand the
saying nothing
scripture.
about church or gospel, better politics tonight. Jamaica politics, PNP and JLP. And you left all the way. Come over here now. I can't tell me, sir. Me not to preach nor teach. You ever hear them a kind of story? Eh? No, if my English language is telling me right, right? And I know that Ron is a teacher, so he can correct me. If the scripture says, I don't permit a woman to teach or usurp authority over the man, does that generalize woman or Paul wrote to Timothy specifically? Because the woman and one is singular. It's the
Yeah.
it never say woman. Say it never pluralize. So it include everybody.
He was addressing issues that was happening in the church at the time.
And it sounds to me also too that Timothy was having issue. Because
Yeah,
there's a passage there that Timothy was fearful to preach, you know. So Timothy was also having issue. The kind of
yeah,
the scripture personally said, let your woman and let the woman. It never said let all women. And if it had said that, I would never do what I do because I would know that it implies to me. But anyway, it's not Bible class tonight, it's politics night. Ryan is saying the reason why he is sending Feda to Mapen is because there will be a challenge on Conjo. I hear a lot of people saying that. So I'm trying to set up whoever I know that is with him so that when he lose the election, him still can stay there. Patsy Bray saying, is Twitter still running? I am so glad for my age. Oh, uh, all right. I think I read everybody now. Right. Born again, oh Lord. Moving right along. Don't give the dunce any relevance. You're right. Don't waste time on those green goblin antigen. You're perfectly right on that. Yeah. So from what you hear in the letter that I just read, there, gonna leave me alone no? In the name of Jesus. Me not teaching Bible time when I teach Bible no not come. How do you see it, Rowan? Because it is coming from the labor rights.
yeah. It's a low blow for them. It's a low blow for them.
I,
That's
I,
a,
I think
that's
so.
a street seat, but as we rightfully pointed out, that the margin of victory the last time was somewhat reduced.
But
So,
you never tell me the margin of the victory.
uh,
You
in
never give me
2020, in
no, you never give me the margin of victory for Mike Henry against Jolika Jess.
no, I didn't. That was not in my
Oh, you
assessment.
didn't have that. All right.
No.
I think we can find that though.
Yeah,
Uh,
man, certainly.
I know it wasn't a lot though.
I think it was
So,
reduced in the last time.
and I still believe if Jess had stayed, she may have did well this time around. Cause the people I'd love her. Auntie don't pay them no mind. Yeah. It's the number them hurt him just now. Oh, the number hurt him chronicle. Oh, so I never right never come and look all right. Like I said, I'm a Christian and I can tell me that no. But, oh, I still want to pay. Yeah, but I pay them no mind. I mean I black none of them tonight because all right, so 2020 election. All right,
Yes,
2020.
you're welcome, Kimon. Yes, I agree with your furniture that Zulika just will win in St. Elizabeth. Just is the best.
Just will win.
Mhm.
That's an actual all kind of foolish assessment. I just that cannot be reached. But I know it wasn't a whole lot. Until let's go on a Pampers drive for the JLP. They will need them after election, especially for Cliff. You're right. But oh, me notice, me noticing quiet. Me noticing quiet. All right. Is there anything else anybody want to say or put out? Yeah, so back to what we were talking about before we go. Charmaine Beckford is saying, "What's up, Perry? It's Charmaine."
Charming Beckford, Charming Beckford.
Yeah, everybody on the line.
Hi,
Just
Charming.
tap the phone, man, and thumbs up. We should have gone 100, man. Look on the, look at a good, good, good piece of information over here tonight,
How are
you
you
know.
doing, Charming?
Carmen Taylor said, "Nasty mouth Cuthbert should lose." She lose, man. Cliff just bad. Cliff know the truth at all time. No, man, he just want for back him party, you know.
There's a
There's a
question.
question.
Go ahead.
Um,
Um,
but even
but
before I ask
even
the
for our
question,
question,
didn't
didn't
Andrew
Andrew
Holness
Holness
promised
promised
us
us
of a
of
fixed
a fixed
election date?
election day
He was going to
In
to
pass
it,
some
pass
bill.
some bill?
in his first 100 days, in his speech, in his first 100 days, I'm going to set election date.
Not a
Not a
broken
broken
things.
things.
But what is your
What is
take
your
on it,
take on it,
Auntie? Do
Auntie?
you
Do you
think
think
a fixed
a fixed
election date is
election date is
good, or you
good,
think
or you
it's
think
bad
it's
for
bad for
Jamaica
Jamaica
at
It
this
would be
at
time?
this
good for
time?
Jamaica. You know why we stop have people that are taking parade for themselves. We need to have some structure. It's a new era. We can't continue the same all time. We call it when we feel like and when we don't feel like. So like if you call now you drag you up because you want to come make more promises and all of that. We need fixed election date. We need fixed election date. We need to strengthen the integrity commission. We need to start all politicians accountable. And once we start lead by example, you'll find that it will play out into the society that we not play. I know it's going to be hard to clean up Jamaica mess that it is in right now. But we have to start somewhere. Rising sun, that's what we're looking for. Somebody is saying, Auntie, you're gone low, the sound. Am I low and everybody can hear me? Let me know if you cannot hear me.
From Brook
From
Street.
Brook Street.
This is Charming that
Charming
comes.
that country.
I think Charmaine is a person who came on the other night and
Oh,
said
Bulla
she
Oh,
was,
Bulla
Charming,
Charming.
yeah, it was a student. So, oh, me remember it and you don't remember it.
yeah, you're still
You're
living
still
in
living in
Portmore,
Portmore,
Charm.
Charm.
Michael is saying I'm low also. I wonder what is happening. Why am I low? Well, I don't know, maybe, I don't know if I did, only open the data go done, you know. But if it don't know when you want to see cut off and you know say the data done. I'll be begging if it thumbs up in live and then if thumbs up in live and then I may make some money if we can buy more top up. They're saying they're not hearing me. You hearing me? You hearing me, Ron?
Loud and
Loud
clear.
and clear.
Some of them know how them. It's like sound quality low and it echoing also. And it
Yeah, I
echo.
Yeah, I
realize I'm
realize
echoing.
Yeah. All right, so well, this is where we're going to leave it for tonight. Then, you know, it was a privilege serving you guys, and I hope and trust that we can come on back again and give you some more information until we meet again. Because you're all saying it's low with them bright self going to Port Royal to build entertainment center without any approval from the KSMAC.
okay,
Okay,
Charmaine, big up
Charmaine, big up
yourself.
yourself.
Somebody else is saying I'm loud and clear, and then somebody don't know what is happening. Mark Sutherland is saying, Auntie, you're doing a good job. I'm doing it for the love my party, want to see my party back into government, and whatever I can do to help come in here using this platform, that's what I'm going to do. And I'm thanking you all for the support that you keep coming back from time to time. And I must say thank you to Ron who take time out of his busy schedule to really come
You're
and to
You're
welcome,
share
and you're
welcome, and you're
welcome,
welcome,
his
Senator.
Senator.
knowledge. Yeah.
And for all
And for
those who
all
have
those who have
taken
taken
the time out to
time
listen,
out to listen,
I do
I do
appreciate your
appreciate your
time.
time. Yeah.
I hope
I
God
hope
bless you
God bless you
continuously.
continuously. All right. So guys, until we come again, because the sun are not here very much. So when time, I don't know when. I want us to try to. I want to get more persons on, but until I get this internet thing settled and what I'm doing, then we'll move forward. Have yourself a wonderful night and the rest of the weekend. Until we meet again. Mark Sutherland say I'm going to call you one day soon. You know what people say, they're going to call me and they don't call me? Yes. Bless
Yes,
up yourself. Yes,
Sharman from
Charmin
Lisbon,
from Lisbon,
Pennsylvania. Remember,
Pennsylvania. Remember,
you know,
you
man.
know, man.
Just big up
Just
Bull
big up
and the
Bull and
fitness
the fitness
assembly for me.
for me. Yeah. All right. Love you now. Bye, everyone. Until we meet
Bye,
again.
bye,
Bye,
bye.
bye, bye. All right.